My name is Chandani Pooni, and I own 2 properties that are valued around 1.8 million.
That's crazy.
I know.
Okay, so let's go through it. First of all, I want to say I'm super proud of you for what you've done, because I have watched you through the whole process.
Yep.
And you have pretty much almost soiled your pants through every step because it's been scary.
Yeah.
Right? So how does a single lady like yourself, not for long, sorry fellas, go back in time? How does a single lady like yourself manage to get into their first property?
Well, I knew I wanted to get into a property by a certain age.
Okay.
Right?
What age was that?
30.
Okay.
Was like, I need to get in by 30. So I bought it by 30 and a half.
30 and a half. Okay.
30 and
that counts. It's within the same year. It's within the same year.
So I knew I remember property started coming up when I started looking. And you're like, oh, this one is a good one for you. And I was like, oh, I need to get pre-approved. So I just remember calling Rowan and saying, okay, I need to get pre-approved. What can I afford? Yeah. And then at that point, I remember a property had come up and you're like, you should really buy this one. And then you're like, it was a townhouse at that time, a 3-bed. And you were like, okay, either buy this one or you're going to end up in a 2-bed, 2-bath townhouse, a condo.
This story was a little different than that though, because we had a property.
Yep.
And that property, through unfortunate, I guess, the owner was not put in a good situation by the tenant.
Correct.
And you managed to fly in and probably, I would say you identified a good opportunity at the time and didn't hesitate. That's what I saw from your
100%. I did not hesitate. Because I remember it came up. I didn't get involved because it was another person had wrote an offer on it. Yeah. And as soon as that happened, I called Rowan and I was like, Rowan, I need to get pre-approved. I didn't think it would be that one, but I also believe in the universe. If it's meant to be, it will be.
Were you using then that as like your measure of, okay, so I know what that property is. So now if that one sells for this, now I have a good determination of value so I can hop on the next one?
It happened so quick. It wasn't even, it was like, I want to get in. It was in the right neighborhood. And it was just, that's what had ignited me to go start, right? So then we got pre-approved. Remember, Rowan went through the whole process. And then it just so happened that one, the buyer needed an extension. So then at that point, it was like, I called my mom and was like, Mom, I'm going to buy a place. And she's like, okay, do it.
Yeah. So the other buyer basically didn't have their poop in a group.
No.
They lost the property as a result. And then you swept in and said, okay, yeah, that's the one I'll take. And obviously that time was a lot harder market than it is now.
A lot harder?
Don't you think that at that time, when did you buy it?
Well, it was just the beginning of it. It was 2016, like March.
Yeah.
And the property values had already increased like 60 grand over the year. Like last year it would have been.
But 2016 was mostly the property value gain in detached.
Correct.
2017 saw a bigger increase.
So they were just starting.
Okay.
So I know if I had bought that one the year before, it would have been 60 grand cheaper.
So then everybody says to you, well, you're just lucky you caught the market.
I don't know because I don't listen to other people. I think that's my blessing. Honestly.
You only listen to me, so that's
no. I have 3 people that I listen to. Yeah. You, and I remember asking. Obviously, Rowan I had to talk to. I talked to my mom. I didn't even tell my aunt guys that I was gonna do this until we had submitted the offer. Because if you talk to too many people, you get too many opinions. Okay. So to me, it's just like.
Now you bought an ugly duckling.
Yes. I always do.
How much did you put in?
So with that one, I budgeted 10 grand. I probably spent 11 because I think I added a toilet and because
when you were done, so you didn't do things like kitchen and all that stuff. When you were done, though, it was beautiful. New flooring, paint. Yeah,
new flooring, paint, toilet, blinds, which I wasn't expecting. That was my unexpected cost. And then I knew a roof was coming. Okay. So 2016, I bought it. Roof usually comes at 20. So I started saving because I knew I needed the roof. Okay. So I didn't touch anything. Like I didn't do appliances, which a lot of people would. We just cleaned it. Like it was dirty, right? We just cleaned it. And then.
Which is typical with, tenanted properties, obviously, right?
Yeah. So we cleaned it. And then last year, I did the counters to quartz.
Okay. Yeah. Now, you're not living there anymore.
No.
Okay, so let's figure this. So, let's go back. You got into that property.
Yeah.
How did you get into that property? Like, how did you come up with the down payment to get into that property?
So I didn't have the whole amount.
Okay.
So I was pre-approved for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo, essentially, right? But then I called my mom and was like, hey, we have this opportunity. Can you give me X amount? Because I didn't need 3 bedrooms. I didn't need a townhouse. I didn't need all this space, but I was like, it makes sense.
So your mom helped you get in?
Yes.
All right. And mom is obviously a massively wealthy real estate investor with billions of dollars.
Single mom.
Okay. So that's actually why I wanted to bring that up. It is, so, I mean, there's always every day we're dealing with feeling that people are marginalized, right? There's people in really bad spots.
Yep.
And I wanted to have you do this so people could see that everybody can do it.
Yeah, you
right?
just have to start somewhere.
Single, lady on her own, young, who wants to make their way can do it.
Yeah.
That's actually probably a big majority of our first-time buyers, actually. But it's not like you're coming from this family with all this wealth, right? Raised by another single mom, right? So
single mom where we barely had enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now mom has even bought a place.
Yeah.
Right? So it is possible.
Yeah.
But one trend I'm noticing from talking to more and more people about how they got in is, I mean, I'm no different. I had a little bit of help. I didn't have a ton of help.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that is, we almost have to look to family because their markets are stupid.
Yeah.
And I think that most parents will help out their children, right? To some degree. Now, if you're not in that situation, you got to work harder, right? But it is like, I just wanted to say that, you weren't coming from a spot where you just got all this cash lined up.
No.
But now you're a goddamn real estate investor.
Yeah.
You're there.
Yeah.
Right? Because not just because you bought your personal residence.
Yeah.
And now you've moved on.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's walk through that process.
Okay, so this year, so I'm getting married next year. So I was seeing the market change again. I'm the worst investor in the sense that you should buy when it's slow, but I'm the one that's like, okay, I'm starting to see multiple offers. I'm starting to see it jump. And that's when I'm like, I need to, because I was already going to change to the next phase in life come next year, but I wanted to do it this year.
So do you think you have a benefit then as being in the market to kind of identify that trend early?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
Well, see, you do have all the luck in the world.
No, I'm very lucky though. And I think I'm positive, so that just comes across.
That helps.
Yeah.
One thing I've also noticed too, being involved in the groups that we're involved in, with the whole Richard Robbins organization and everything, the wealthiest people are the most positive people, hands down.
Yeah.
They don't have time for the BS that comes with the negativity, right? And that's not easy for me because I think of myself as, thinking the worst first, right? But it's definitely been beneficial to be around those people to see.
Yeah. I remember I wrote down, you know how we always do your bucket list and you're just supposed to write like 50, even if you don't think, every year I would write after 2016, buy an investment condo. And I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to do it. But if I say it, I'm an opportunistic person, I find. So when the opportunity is there, if it's in the back of your mind, you'll take it.
So going back, you saw an opportunity at the beginning of this year.
Yes. In February, actually January probably. And that's when you bought your condo.
I did.
I was thinking then too, and I wanted to file my taxes for this year. So it's the quickest I've ever filed taxes. Because Rowan said to do that. And then we had a lot of options. Well, number one is I can move in with my in-laws and just rent out my place.
Congratulations,
right?
Not married yet, but yeah.
Second was, do we sell this property? Do we get something?
So you elected to keep the current property,
Yes.
rent it out,
Yes.
and then buy a larger version of the same thing. So you didn't go to the detached house.
No, not yet.
Yeah. Why?
Why? Well, we had a lot of options. Okay. Challenge was, one was sell the townhouse, mine, and buy a smaller house, detached house. That was one option. Two, Jeg, my fiance, also owns a property with his family. And luckily, he's younger than me, and he is already thinking that. Like, they bought that house in 2013 when he was still in university, right? And he was the one saying, Dad, and his dad's up in North, where $300,000 back then, when your house in Quesnel is only $100,000, is a big deal, right? So I'm lucky that way. So the question was, do we get him to remove his name off that title so that we can afford the detached? At the end, we decided we're getting married. I don't want anything where we're not happy with the house, because I hear marriage is stressful as it is. So
marriage is great. Kids are stressful.
So I wanted it just to be something easier for us to take on.
Yeah.
So I have another 5-year to 7-year goal later.
Okay, so you got the second property. Now you've moved into that property, rented out the first property, but you don't plan to stay there?
No.
Do
Not
you
forever.
plan to keep it?
I don't know. In my 5-year plan right now, I see we sell everything, like the two. We'll see what happens with the other one, and then get into the dream home eventually. Yeah. But we do have the option of keeping one. Maybe we keep the other townhouse, right? Sell this one, and then...
Now, you are Indian background.
Yes.
Is it not, excuse me if I'm being insensitive, is it not normal that you should move in with the family? Is that something that's starting to maybe go away, or?
I think so, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're seeing a lot of people, like even yesterday when we went to the Indian store for the outfits. Yeah. He lives in South Surrey and his parents live in Vancouver. I was like, oh, you don't live with them?
So I mean, I just wonder how much of that, because I was talking to my neighbor, who's same background, and he's saying to me, he's like, listen, my culture is changing. Yeah. And a lot of the kids are leaving the nest. Multi-generational homes are stopping. Yeah. His belief is that's what's actually driving so much of our market right now. Because you have all these people who would have normally stayed under one roof, and now they're all buying multiple properties. Yeah. So I wonder, I mean, I'm not being from the community, I don't know. Yeah. But I wonder if that's an additional factor. Well,
we do have clients, as you know, that are buying the second property and renting it out and saying it's for so-and-so son. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So that could be driving
But it's more of the philosophy coming from that side, that your culture, that side of the culture is more of a family philosophy. Right? I always jokingly say, like, us white people, we don't love our kids that much. Right? Like, we just, like, everybody goes and they spread, but like there's so much more of a intergenerational mindset that I think is so cool.
We'll help each other.
That my culture loses. Yeah. Right? As I'm saying this to the girl from Williams Lake. Like, but I mean, I think there's so much that regular Canadians, that's a racist term, what people that have grown up in Canada, probably the Caucasian group, they feel like they have a right to something and living their direction and their way that they already have lived. And I don't think we're mature enough as a North American culture to go, you know what, guys, intergenerational wealth is where people will succeed in the end. Yeah. Right. So anyway, I don't want to dwell on that topic. I just think it's super interesting to cover. So you've bought one property, now you rented that out. Yep. Is it costing you, or are you?
No, I'm breaking even.
Perfect.
Completely.
So no income tax problems.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I love to break even on properties, because they've got. So you bought the other property you've been in how long now?
June.
Okay, so only 5-6 months?
Yeah.
5 months?
Yeah.
And obviously now you've seen increases in both.
Yes. Yeah. Which I kind of thought maybe we were at the peak at that time, like when we got the appraisal.
We were.
Right?
June was the peak.
Yeah, like it felt like we were kind of, well, we wrote in May, and then we assessed the other townhouse in April-ish. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's a really good price. Like it went out quite a bit, right? And then from there, it's even gone up even higher.
Yeah. So June was the peak. It leveled off for basically June and July.
The summer.
And then August it took off.
It went off again, yeah.
Are you happy you did it?
Oh, yeah. I get a keg dinner. Because I had told Jake a similar one sold. I said, if this sells for X amount more, you owe me a keg dinner. It's almost gone above what I had even
Which
said.
Is crazy.
Yeah.
Right. It's nuts to think that it can keep going like this. Yeah. I'm sure all the comments on YouTube will
And Jeg,
talk
being
about.
Indian, was hesitant to buy that other property because obviously he does have that, oh my God, now if I sign these papers, I'm leaving my family's house, right? Come marriage. So it was a struggle. I had to call his cousin to be like, you need to put some sense into this kid.
It's probably also a struggle for him though, because sure, he's invested with the family financially in houses, but this is now his like
first.
Oh crap, this is mine.
Yeah.
And that's a life changer for most people, right? I'm sure you experienced that too.
I remember I was like, oh my God, can I pay the bill? And then I remember 1 month goes by, 2 months goes by, and you get used to it.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, oh, no problem. But I remember that initial and even becoming a landlord, I was like, oh my God, like what's going to happen? Or having 2 properties. But I just remember telling myself, number 1, follow the rules that you've given me to rent it out. Right? Number 2, what's the worst case that's going to happen? I'll sell it.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was like, okay. And worst case, I'm going to sell everything and move in with my in-laws.
Well, you got backup plans.
Right? Backup.
You got backup plans. Okay, so the point of doing this is to tell people that it is obtainable, can be done faster than you think, and not to be negative about it. What do people looking to try and get into the market or thinking about even getting into an investment property, what do they need to know?
What do they need to know?
What would you tell them?
Start saving.
Start saving?
Start saving.
Did you not save early enough, you think, in your life?
No, I was fortunate enough. And as a lot of, you know how I feel about Indian kids. I feel like we have so much opportunity.
Okay.
And first of all, education is always pushed on us. Okay. You're going to go to school and our parents often are going to pay for it. Yeah. Right. So that's great because then these children become and I'm focused more against, I guess, the girls in our culture than the boys, because the boys eventually are either going to live with the parents or they're going to get helped out because the girl is the one that leaves the house. Okay. Okay. But most of them are very educated. They're nurses. They're cops. They're making enough money where you can save easy 20 grand living at home. Okay. Okay.
In what, a year?
Yeah. Okay. Easy. And that's still, I still like to go to my happy hour and stuff like that. But, maybe you don't buy the UGG shoes each month, right? Start saving earlier. Because if you think about it, 5 years go by, you already have 100 grand saved. Yeah. Right? So that's your down payment right there. Number 2, parents do like to help, but you have to, because I fear that by me saying this, the Indian community will be like, oh, so are you saying that we should leave our parents? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying save up, get them involved, buy an investment property, buy a condo, rent it out. What's the worst that's going to happen? You live at home anyway, so if you have to pay 1 month's rent, 2 months' rent, you can do it, right? One thing is our community has a stigmatism towards stratified properties, so condos, townhouses. Okay. So it's like, oh, you should buy land.
That's not your community. That's every community,
I guess.
Right? Everybody's like, I don't want to be told what I want to do or what I can do with my own property. Yeah. Like I want my own fence. If I want to dig a ditch, I should be able to dig a ditch, right?
Well, I love the property manager because I know the rules. So I'll be like, so are you saying that I can't do this? But anyways, that's the one big thing too, is don't get a condo, don't get a townhouse. So I always say to people, oh, well, when someone says it to you, say, are you going to help me with the down payment for the detached house? Yeah.
I say, well, like when I'm looking at, the reason I particularly wanted a condo is it's cash the rent check, tenant calls, maybe there's a problem, roof leaks, call strata. Like I don't want the headache. So I know that I think my maintenance fee just increased $40 or is about to increase $40. So I know I'm into it for another $40 a month, but I have zero headache. Yep. And that zero headache translates to growth, not as big, not as much risk either. But now I'm going to be feeding this property, unfortunately, like $100 to $110 a month now.
Oh, okay.
Which is more than I had budgeted.
Yeah.
But
the gain that you've seen over the last
the timing that I had was really good. Yeah. The timing that I had was really good, and it's up $6 to, well, it's more than that, $120,000, $130,000. Yeah. Right. So, thanks for doing this.
So did I give my what was my advice?
Your advice was save. If you have any more advice.
Oh yeah, it was save. Okay, save. Especially there's a huge opportunity there. Especially with now kids staying longer and longer at home, as we do. Take advantage of that. Buy the property, and then when you do get married, if you choose to do that, you have so many more options. Because I didn't think I would have so many options. Like I never thought I would be sitting here in 2016 when I bought that townhouse.
Having another house already.
Yeah, I never thought. But just the options too.
Cool.
Okay.
Can you look right in that camera over there and tell them to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel?
Oh, hit the like button and subscribe and comment below, but be nice.
They're some people are nice, some people are not nice. But anyway, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I guess we gotta get back to work.
I guess. I have work to do anyways. Bye for now.